Hello, so this is the discussion for the week, Gilgamesh and the floods. And for the first section of the questions for Analyze the Flood Myth in Gilgamesh, this is what I had. It put that the flood serves as a reminder to Gilgamesh and the audience that humans are not in control and must accept that their fate of mortality is that they have mortality and not immortality. So they shouldn't be questioning the gods and challenging them in a way. I also put it demonstrates the authority of the gods, that the authority that the gods hold over them. They can destroy humanity at will at any time that they please. It also shows that the granting of immortality to, sorry if I say this wrong, but Utnapishtim, which is a theme in Gilgamesh because he desperately seeked for eternal life. So in conclusion for the first question, the floods serve as a powerful narrative tool to illustrate the concept of human mortality and the limitations of the powers against the gods, which emphasizes the value of accepting one's fate and living a meaningful life within the boundaries set by the divine forces. So they're pretty much telling you that we are the gods, we say what goes, and we can end it at any time. And the references, of course, that I have down are lines 8 through 12. Right at the beginning, it shows that Gilgamesh is a mighty being, that he's pretty much full of himself, thinks that he's the biggest and best thing on earth, and that nothing can destroy him. And then that's when the gods sent Enkidu to challenge Gilgamesh, which were pages 82 through 86, explaining how Enkidu came into the picture. And then on pages 87 through 89, Gilgamesh and Enkidu, they challenge Humbaba, who is supposed to be a very mighty, unkillable being, but they go ahead with it despite the warnings. And between 420 or lines 420 and 421, that's whenever they're killing Humbaba because they say Humbaba must die. And they cut off his head and they leave it to be devoured by vultures. And this shows immortality to death, which helps with the first question. And then, of course, there's the part where Ishtar proposes on line 428 to 441. She's a god, and she wants Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh denies her, and with much insult, which were found through lines 442 through 492. And then Ishtar, of course, goes to her parents, whines to them, saying that Gilgamesh denied her to send the mighty bull, which they do, but Enkidu is the one that ends up killing the bull, and this angers the gods, and so they end up punishing Gilgamesh and Enkidu by killing Enkidu because they're taking away Gilgamesh's friend, and they're showing him that he's not all-powerful and mighty like he wants to think, that he is mortal and that anything can be taken from him at any moment. And then the second question was the compare Gilgamesh to the other floods. So with the Epic of Gilgamesh and Utnapishtim, sorry, I can't say that right, but you know what I'm saying. The flood stories in Gilgamesh and the other great myths across the cultures are often sharing a universal theme, which is divine retribution, renewal, and rebirth. So they all kind of circle around the same theme, but they do have some differences, of course. This signifies a collective human understanding of the disasters and the potential for new beginnings. So the core message remains similar. And so compared to the Noah story that I'm pretty sure most of us all know at least the basic concept of it, Noah and the flood tells how God is seeing the widespread of corruption on earth, and he has instructed the one righteous man that he believes is righteous, which is Noah, to build an ark and gather a pair of every animal to survive the great flood that would destroy all of the other life. So Noah does that. The flood goes on 40 days, 40 nights, and he sends out the birds. They find the land is finally able to be set upon, and then Noah and his family realize that they have to repopulate the earth with themselves. But the difference there is that Noah is not immortal, and this is coming from one god only rather than multiple gods being told about. And then I also liked the Greek version, which had Deucalion and Perea. I'm going to say it like that. Which, of course, the Greek mythology had many gods as well as Epic of Gilgamesh. That's where they were similar. But in this one, the gods are a little bit different. So Zeus tells him, Deucalion, to build an ark through his father. And they survive it with only Deucalion and Perea. And then they also are told to repopulate, but instead of the way that Noah did it, they are told by Themis that they can throw stones over their shoulder, and so if Deucalion is throwing them, he's creating men. If I can't say her name right, but Pyrrha is throwing them, then she's creating women, and that's how they repopulated the earth. So it definitely creates different stories, different themes, and we're able to see these in each of the stories, in each of them that are shown. And then my final questions are, which one is your favorite and why? Like, which myth? And why, my second question, why do you think Greek mythology chose rocks or stones to be thrown over the shoulder instead of repopulating the way Noah did? And then the third question is, why do you think that the floods were chosen over another catastrophe like fires or earthquakes or anything else? Okay, thank you.